All right, my MotoSaaders, the time has come for me to reveal nothing. No, in all honesty, I don't really know how long I'm going to go faceless, if I'm going to be faceless forever. I feel as though me choosing not to show my face from the beginning of this thing that I'm building has been a strategic decision. And, I guess the pros of showing my face would be that, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, they'd all have proof that I'm actually a real life individual who's not just some AI bot. But maybe I don't know. You guys let me know. Like, should I show my face, or should I strategically not show my face? Let me know. The sun has decided to show itself. Should I show myself? Am I the sun? So some people have asked me about, so I'm 25, and I guess I have some followers and friends who are like 18, 19, 20, who they chose not to go to college, or they're choosing not to go to college. And they asked me, like, what do I think about that? So these folks have asked me what I think about college and going to college. And full disclosure and full disclaimer, I went to school for finance. And I guess I might as well answer that for a second. Why did I even go to school for finance? Well, the fisherman has a lot of access to fish. And so the person working in finance ideally has a lot of access to money. And thus far, it does appear to be the case. Out of all my friends, it seems like the finance folks are the ones making good money, though, at least the ones who are in the corporate world. And so it's hard to say whether or not somebody should go to college. So whether or not you should go to college is totally circumstantial. All of life is circumstantial, and there's no clear answers. There's no you should do this, you shouldn't do that. It's all just a bunch of shades of gray. But if you're somebody who is close to graduating high school, or you're about to, or you have graduated high school, and you don't have a clear path of being useful in some certain way, then I highly recommend that you go to college just to buy yourself time. You have to buy yourself time. And in life, I personally have a lot of random endeavors. Even MotoSaad, if you're watching this right now, you're taking part in what is an endeavor of mine. And I'm not too sure where this endeavor will go, if it will go anywhere or if it won't. This is just something that I enjoy doing. But no matter what it is, it's going to take time. And so if you have the means to make money and keep the lights on while you pursue your entrepreneurial endeavors, by all means, ditch the college route and just go do your normal endeavors. But if you don't have those means and money is important to you, then going to college could be a good way to buy yourself time. Like, just because you go to college doesn't mean you can't pursue that entrepreneurial endeavor. Just because you go to college and get a job doesn't mean you can't do other things while you're working that job. Most jobs, especially once you have like a degree, a lot of jobs don't actually take 40 hours of your life. Some weeks maybe more hours, some weeks maybe less hours, but at the end of the day, it's all kind of fluid in terms of the hours. And you at the end of the day, you have to do the thing that's going to help you keep the lights on and keep food on the table. But you have to be honest with yourself and say, like, will I be able to, do I have the energy to, am I the kind of person that can work and focus on all these other endeavors while keeping another job? And that's for you to decide for yourself. But if you're somebody that, if you're, should you go to college? Well, all of life comes down to being useful. And if you don't have an immediate means of being useful, you're leaving college, you're leaving high school, and you don't know exactly how you're going to be useful, well, you might as well go to college and do something where you might be a little useful. Otherwise, you're on the road to being useless. And the best way to stay broke is to be useless. All right, let's see. What else do I got for you guys? I think I believe that the desire to not go to college and to be an entrepreneur or something. It's a part of a broader issue that I feel like is leading to a lot of disappointment in our lives, in my life as well. You know, we everybody who's alive right now has grown up with television and, you know, really strategic storytelling and movies. And, you know, in the movies they show you that, you know, all the hardship you go through is going to be worth it, and it's just all this romantification of life. And this romantification of life is leading to a lot of disappointment, because a lot of people who romanticize their life, or a lot of people who romanticize their lives, they have expectations that are supremely out of the bounds of reality. And oftentimes when you have expectations that are supremely out of the bounds of reality, that really just leads to disappointment. You're just gonna end up being upset. You're gonna want these things. You're gonna hope for this type of lifestyle. The movies told you that if you do this, then you'll get that. But then at the end of the day, you just end up broke. And that is more life. Like, life is way more vicious than it is beautiful. Life is way more nasty than it is something beautiful. There are beautiful aspects of life, but much of life is just a grind. And so this romantification, you know, I think connecting it all, a lot of people I feel like have this idea that, oh, if they commit to being an entrepreneur, then they'll be like that guy on TV who, you know, dropped out of college or didn't go to college, and now he ended up with this $1 billion business. But I'll let you know that for every like one person who made it, there's millions of people who didn't make it. And media is a great deal of survivorship bias, where you only really see the winners. You don't see all the people who lost. And so always consider that, you know, whatever expectations you have about your life, are you romanticizing this? Is this a romantification of something that doesn't need to be romanticized? Or are you or is this like a well-deserved expectation? So be careful about to what extent you let these, you know, pie in the sky dreams really impact how you view your life today. So something else that I have for you all is, you know, a lot of the problems that you deal with might be somebody has said that problems that you deal with today are old solutions that have outlived their usefulness. And so what, you know, so I often have like back problems where every single day I need to do stretches. And so this is just my experience. So I used to longboard a lot. And so when you're longboarding, you know, I would ride goofy. And so I would be kicking with my left, and if you notice, when you're kicking, you're basically doing a mini squat with your right foot or right leg. And so what has happened is that all the years of like doing this mini squat kicking has led to my right leg being stronger than my left. And muscular imbalances are like a straight path to being in pain. Because since my right leg is stronger than my left, and my whole body is like trying to compensate for that. And now, you know, and I used to longboard when I was 13, 14, 15, stopped longboarding when I got a license. And now I'm 25, and this is still something that I'm dealing with. And so before you go to the doctors and go to these experts and such, I would recommend that you really analyze your own life. Because you can go to the expert, you can go to the doctor, but nobody can tell you what you've done with your life like you. So if you're in certain types of pain, whether it be physical or metaphysical, whatever it is, do that analysis of your past, of what has built up to this, and that will then show you how you can unwind it to then be ultimately not in pain. Well, I think that's all the really discussion points that I had for you all today. So with that being said, let's go ride. All right, let's hit it.
in my earplugs. When I was in high school, I worked at a Starbucks, and that Starbucks changed my life, man. I think some of those low-paying jobs can really change your life. The one thing that the Starbucks drive-thru taught me was that no matter what happens, that interaction is about to like be over. So I used to be a little socially anxious, and that Starbucks drive-thru really gave me the opportunity to just like speed run conversations. Oh, my bad, bro, sorry, talking about my Starbucks journey, sheesh. But yeah, man, so yeah, working at Starbucks, it was like, no matter, you know, I actually used the Starbucks drive-thru to network. So, you know, the shifts that I would work at Starbucks would be shifts that were like, you know, after school, right? Working there in high school, so it would be start at like 3 or something. And what I was basically able to do was people would be getting off of work when they were showing up to the Starbucks drive-thru, and at that time I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. And so it was the people in the Starbucks drive-thru that I was able to then build a mini script where I was like, oh, like, how's your day going? And they'd be like, well, I just got off of work. And easy peasy, what do you do? And then I was able to kind of gauge by people's like reactions and who they were that the people working in finance seem to enjoy their lives. And that's how I basically used Starbucks as like a networking strategy. And that those skills stay with me even to this day. 100%, 1000%. It is good to see that people, especially in the next generation, in my generation, and then the generations ahead of me who are younger than me, they're pretty anti-alcohol. But at the same time, I feel like we're getting screwed in different ways. You know, like we're anti-alcohol, but at the same time, we're like doom scrolling. And so it's so tough. Like, I don't know what the answer is. Like, are we generationally getting better by, you know, leaving alcohol in the past, or have we just replaced it? You know, are people just not drinking because they aren't social anymore? I don't know. Somebody let me know. Dude, after seeing some of these videos on my feed, I cannot view these massage areas the same, man. They're everywhere. Once you see that one post, you see them everywhere. I got to this pile of cars real fast. Smells like burgers. Dude, somebody told me that the burger smell that you smell is actually like a psyop, and I don't know how true that is, but basically they said that like burger companies will strategically release like the smells into the air. Is that true, bro? Can I not trust my nose either? Somebody tell me, like, was that person onto something? It's an awesome day. And it sucks because I'm gonna blink and there's gonna be snow on the ground. I miss life pre-COVID though, man. Like life pre-COVID, life pre-TikTok. It's weird how COVID and TikTok kind of coincided. But life before all of that, that shit was nuts, dude. Now things are just weird. But, you know, I'd like to think that, you know, because the feeling that things have dramatically changed after COVID is, it's a common feeling that I think a lot of people feel. And I'm the kind of person that would like to think that if you get through some type of pain, that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, that there is, you know, something at the end of it. And so maybe after we get through this weird-ass time of the 2020s, that the 2030s will be different. I don't know. It kind of sucks to think, though, because if I'm just waiting for the 2030s, and then I'm just waiting to be 30 years old. Which, man, whatever, bro. Life's kind of good on this bike. So I keep going back and forth between whether or not I should get an R6. Because it keeps coming back to, like, for what? You know, I already got this wonderful bike. This bike actually sounds dope. Rides cool, rides nice. So I'm like, why do I need I don't need an R6. Should I get an R6? I don't know. But at the same time, I kind of want an R6. But desire is a fickle thing to run after. So I don't know, man. I'm just a spiritual biker trapped by the material world. I think that is a lot of the dilemmas of life, that we are that is the dilemma of life. That's why people do drugs, that's why people drink, that's why people do all these things. It's because we are spiritual entities supremely limited by our bodies. Like, I'm pretty sure bumblebees can see more colors than we can as human beings, which is nuts. And that just goes to show, like, how limited we really are. Hey! Somebody asked me if being short is like a big barrier to entry to riding motorcycles, and I guess I might as well just let you all know, man. Like, I am 5'5". I'm 5'5", bro. Like, I think I have like a 28, 29-inch inseam, and you know, I've had a Suzuki SV 650S, which has like, I think it's like a 32-inch seat height. So no, man. I mean, unless you're trying to ride a supermoto, being a short person, you still probably are okay, you know, and I'm sure you can lower bikes and stuff too. So being short does not mean that you cannot ride. On that note, I guess that's about it for this video. Comment, subscribe, like, give me any kind of feedback that you have, and let me know if there's anything that you want me to talk about. Peace!